Well, it looks like we're live on a Wednesday afternoon. I hope everybody is doing great. So good to see everybody's name pop up. Y'all, thanks for being here and making this what it is. I'm just going to drive the bus. Y'all party in the back? Absolutely. Y'all, everybody's name. Oh, just starting right at the top, Taylor. First one in the shop today. Hallelujah. And Ralph and Carrie, y'all, it's so good to see your names pop up. What a pleasure. For those of us that are new, come on in, make yourself at home. You are with some great people. And I can say that because last week and a little bit into this week, I got to go to the Sheridan Fair or the Sheridan Show out in Sheridan, Wyoming, the Rocky Mountain Leather Trade Show. What great people. Now, I'm not going to go into great detail on that because of a lot of us, we just simply can't be there. It's a long and an expensive trip, but nonetheless, we're going to settle on a couple of points because there are some really great points to be made for us leather crafters that come from that show. And we're going to talk about that absolutely. But again, I hope everybody's got something good on your table, got something pretty to work on. We've got some good stuff to talk about, I think. I'm gonna do my best to see if we can make this worthwhile. Just got back late Monday evening, so I haven't really put a lot together for this live, but doesn't matter. Y'all carry it, and that's what's important. Hallelujah. Thanks for being great. For the folks that I got to meet at the show, bless your heart. More than you know, makes my day. Excuse me, yeah. Excuse me. Picked up a head cold. Another one, really? Well, flying on airplanes, or what Jill and I like to call the people tubes. Yeah, in airports. So, excuse me, but we're going to power through it, see if we can turn this into a good live. Sorry, y'all. Can't believe I got sick again. Anyway, we got some fun stuff to talk about and some stuff to look at over here, but just what a great trip. Leather crafters are some of the kindest, friendliest people you've ever met. I mean, bend over backwards to help you out. Everybody here, exactly the same way. Y'all, thanks for being here, and let's see if we can talk some leather. Um, in fact, Jill got to go with me this year and just loved every minute of it. There's some good points to talk about from the show that we don't necessarily need to be there to get those points, and I'm going to talk about those. But also this week, we're not going to do a giveaway, and I apologize for that. Just haven't had time to get it together today. So the next time we get together, the boss will let us do something special. I'm sure. We'll see if we can break that budget a little bit, right? Step it up, get something really good for a giveaway. But Ralph, nice to see everybody's name popping up. Jerry King, miss seeing you there and your lovely wife, but I hope all is well with y'all. Thanks for being here. Crystal Innington, nice to see your name pop up as well. Billy Blaze, sup amigo, right back. Billy, hope you are doing well. Hope everybody's good, everybody's family's all right. That's what I'm hoping for. So this week I'm gonna work on watching more comments because it just kills me to see them flying by. And I'm not saying hello to people, not able to answer questions. I'll try to do my best over here. Lane, love to see your name pop up. London is in the shop with us. Hallelujah. So y'all just put in any comments, any questions you got. I'll do my best. But also anybody else out there that can help out on the questions, thank you from the bottom of my heart. And everybody here, hallelujah. Thanks for helping out. Again, leather crafters, some of the friendliest people I have ever been around. I got to judge out there, judge one of the categories, and we'll talk a little bit about that. Toughest thing I think I've ever done. 23 entries just in me and Annie's category. And our category is untooled. So it's not like boots or holsters or clothing or art. It's kind of the catch-all. A lot of very creative, very artistic pieces, and they just blow me away. How do you judge that? I mean, how do you judge that? But it went very well, and we'll come back to that. Like I say, I'm not going to dwell on the show since a lot of us can't make it out there. But again, some great points to mention. Some very valid points that kind of an epiphany here and there for me. And I want to bring that to y'all because they're good points. And it's valid points that we need to talk about and think about, but all good. I mean, really, all very good. So, here's the theme of the week. We're gonna talk about this because out there, um, the King Museum, there's King ropes, and King Satterwing, Don King, Barry King, his and Ryan King's father, and they're just the kindest people you've ever met. Anyway, there's a museum there, 3 rooms, big rooms of every every inch is covered with Old West memorabilia. You couldn't see all of that in a week. Every beam has Old West guns, right? And there's got to be 400 old saddles in there and just every possible thing you can imagine. But the lady that was running it, bless her heart, I didn't get her name, sweet as she could be, she said, "Come here, I got something to show you." And she pulled out 3 Al Stohlman books. And I think 2 of these were all the cards, all the birthday and Christmas cards that he had made for his wife, and they were absolutely in love. Just, but anyway, the point is, looking at his work, I've joked in the past that work like that makes me either want to aspire to get better, or just give up. Maybe I can scrapbook. Maybe I'll be good at that, right? But the bigger point is that when you see that level of work, we know it's possible, that we can aspire to that level of work if we work at it. Um, there were on a lot of these, he would, with a swivel knife, drop in a full paragraph of copy. It was so clean, it looks like it was printed about 3/8 by 3/8, the size of the lettering, and it was absolutely perfect. The swirls that he would create with insets, the mule foots, it was and the paintwork, just astounding, beautiful work. And on that, like I say, I like to joke a little bit about that, that maybe I, could be better at some. No, the point is if you, when you see that, it just immediately sparks a fire in you that that can be done. I can get there if I really work on it. So it's a valid point when you see work of that level. Yes, we can do that if we want to. Absolutely. And it was just beautiful. So that's one of the many points for us leather crafters. Yeah, it's possible. And yeah, we can do it if we want. Absolutely beautiful work by Al Stohlman and an Al. Never met him, but I understand they were just the sweetest folks. His workbench is up there, and a lot of his tools and a lot of the stuff he made, saddles and golf bags and rifle scabbards. But it was really a trip to see that level of work and not be turned off by it, but actually get fired up over it. Just to be able to come back in my shop, man, I'm gonna knock something out of the ballpark when I get back. Yeah, I haven't, but I'm going to. In fact, it's like I tell Jill, when I'm sitting on the sofa, yeah, I'm gonna spring into action. What I'm doing right now is I'm building up energy, right? I'm building up that energy. Just when I spring into action, just watch out. Yeah, like a capacitor, building up energy. Anyway, it was really very cool to see that. And some of those saddles, oh, 18 and $19,000 used. Yeah, used. And Joe said, "Oh, I want one of those." I said, "Baby, all we got to do is call Zurich, move some money around. We'll be fine." Yeah, right. Not going to happen. But, oh, it's just seeing all that work. Spectacular. And this is funny. I got to mention this because we don't have video. But at the end of the show, Sheridan, Wyoming, just stunningly beautiful. The mountains, the bighorns, snow still on the bighorns. Um, the wind can come in hard and fast, and it was windy when we finished the show. We loaded out, we're done. We went out to the car. I think I'm putting my briefcase in the back seat. She's opening the front passenger side door. She turned her head just a little bit. The wind caught her hat, flipped perfectly over, and landed right on my head. And we don't have video. We don't. I even looked around the campus thinking, come on, there's got to be a camera that caught that somewhere. But no, can you imagine how fast that would go viral? Literally flipped off her head and onto mine. That was funny and no video. Broke my heart. But anyway, so great show, great people. And we'll talk a little bit more about that. But I also want to bring something up because I've got to change my way of thinking on this. I've always said I love to fly, but I hate flying, right? And we all know that it's become a real pain in the butt. Well, I just remember the old days, and some of us still do. I know I'm showing my age now every day. Just quick rant. In the old days, the flying was a blast. The food was actually delicious. It came out on a tray, porcelain bowls. You had your dessert. It was really, and the flight attendant, the pilot would come back and sit down and talk, and they'd hand out decks of cards, and all the kids got little pilot wings, right? Had this nice, spacious, comfortable seat. It was like a recliner, right? Yeah, not the case anymore. You got 16 by 16. And I always put my briefcase up under the seat in front of me because, yeah. And Joe was laughing at me because my head was on the seat in front of me and I still couldn't get to my briefcase. Don't try to tie your shoes, right? So I have to work my briefcase back with my feet, keeping my arms in. Just joking on that one because it is not, it's comfortable, right? Great in flight entertainment on the seat in front of you. But let me just do this right now because I have to say this. United Airlines, Hertz Rental Car, the Atlanta Airport, Denver Airport, Sheridan Airport, TSA, everybody was as friendly and talkative and polite as they could possibly be. We had 2 very long travel days, but totally seamless thanks to everybody in line. I might have to change my thought on that because it was actually a very nice flying experience right into Sheridan. We just had a great time. Um, and here's a kind of a point with us leather crafters on that too. I know I'm not the only one here, but do you ever like on a travel days like that? I'm stressing. Oh, are we going to be able to get the rental cars? The reservation hold, the flights? Are we going to be able to make our transfers? And how about our layover time? Just a million little worries. And come to find out, not one of them was an issue. Well, I kind of had a lot of time to think on the people tube, right? My projects, our projects, or am I only one here? They almost seem to be exactly the same way. In the videos, I would say once in a while, no, let's just say all of them. Oh, the worries when I'm starting a video, they stack up. And the same with our projects. I'm not talking video, I'm talking more projects. Oh, is my die gonna work? Is my tooling gonna look good? Is my antique gonna sit? Is my top coat gonna work? We just stress over then the project comes out and it's absolutely beautiful. Yeah. And then I look back and think, why did I worry about all that? Look at the outcome. I don't know. Maybe it's in our DNA. I know I inherited worrying from my grandmother because if there's not something to worry about, I'm going to find something to worry about and not just one. I'm going to make a list, right? But again, it was the same thing. So much stress goes into worrying over stuff that just never materializes. And the flying and our projects, they kind of tend to be the same way. Um, it was a good flight day. Both days out and back. The shows they're tough. The long day, 6 a.m. to 11, maybe midnight, worth every damn minute. It is worth every minute. And I'll get over this, but absolutely successful show. And everybody I got to talk to, bless you for your kind words. One of those, and I didn't, we do comparison videos, right? And which top coat works best, or which antique, or which glue, right? And it's in the back of my mind that, well, my thought, and I think I say this, is that I want to save y'all some time and some headache, maybe some frustration, and definitely some money. But that's always kind of been in the back of my mind until this show. I had 2 or 3 people walk up and just say, I love the comparison videos because it saves me time, headache, and mistakes. Blew me away. That's what I was thinking, but again, kind of in the back of my mind. But to hear folks say that, oh man, y'all, if you mention something like that, that one goes deep. It really does. Thank you for bringing that up. We'll do more of those. Absolutely, we'll do more of those. And like I said, sorry, we're not doing a giveaway this week, but the next time if we don't double up, I'm sure the boss will really kick in something for a good giveaway next time. Y'all, sorry about that. Sorry about that. We got back late Monday night, and I got nothing accomplished yesterday. I think it took me 3 hours to do an email and open a box. Don't tell the boss that. La, 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 right? Yeah, right. On the live. Don't tell. Yeah. So, But anyway, great trip, great show, successful for everybody. Um, so let's see. All right, let's back up over here because I want to. Hey, Joe. Hey, sweetie. Joe's with us. Uh, yeah, it's about 40 years. And that's something, another thing that came up. Oh, look at all these great comments. I'm going to hit every one of these. I really do. Um, oh, look at all the comments. Uh, Yeah, well, Dean, actually, that's a great point. Do you want to be an artist or a craftsman? Well, they kind of go hand in hand, with leathercraft. Those of us that don't, and I see this in every class, folks that just, oh, I'm just not creative. I just don't feel creative. Yeah, watch this. And at the end of the class, they're always blown away. Wet forming, particularly because in leathercraft, so many aspects. We can get creative on so many aspects of leathercraft, down to just billets and gussets and rivets, like little spacers on our rivets. We can get creative on so many angles, and we all have creativity in us. I have learned that we absolutely do. We may not think about it, but we absolutely do. Um, oh, let's see. Oh, let's see. Blue Rose Lion. Oh, let's see. My son and I really enjoyed the show. It was the most expensive vacation. Oh no, his engine blew up my car through the timing belt. Oh, yeah, and I caught a cold. Blue Rolls Light, I'm so sorry to hear that. I hope the experience of the show maybe helps out on that. I hope so. Bless your heart. But thanks for being there nonetheless. Very successful show. Absolutely. Let's see. Oh, Debbie Senzo Davis had the privilege of attending the trade show. The museum was amazing. Oh, I loved Al Stolman's workshop. Magical. It really is. I'm glad to see some folks jumping in that were able to be there because I feel bad about talking about it because so many of us aren't able to get there. That's an expensive show and it's a long trip. But for those that did make it, it's worth every minute. Absolutely. Uh let's see. Let me work down. Sorry, y'all. Again, another stupid head cold. Ah, Ron Dowdy. Hello, right back to you, Ron. Thanks for being here. It's good to see your name pop up. And that goes for everybody here. Bless your heart for jumping in. We'll do our best to keep. I don't know. I'm gonna power through this one. Damn it! Not gonna let this stop us having some fun. Good things to talk about. In fact, when I got home Monday night, this was on my front porch. Box from Weaver. Oh yeah! Can't wait to see what's in the box from Weaver. Shirts. Oh man, that's needed, necessary, and they did a great job on those. But I would have to say I was a little let down. But nonetheless, they look good. Need them absolutely because my shirts. I just at some point I was watching one of the videos. Looks like I'm wearing the Hefty Bag collection. It's like 3 times. Did I not ever notice this or I don't know. Anyway, so they got me some pretty shirts. I was just hoping for something more, leather related. Anyway, so let's see, Carl Springer. How long have you been doing leather for? I think Jill may have asked that one, but it's a good point because we talked about that at the show. A lot of us, I started in college. Um, so about 82, give or take, started working at the Renaissance Fair in Texas, got a love for the era and the leather, really jumped into it. But I, like so many people, and a couple of people, we talked about this at the show. Um, a lot of us will get a taste of leather, like, FFA or 4-H or Boy Scouts or classes or whatnot through church. We kind of get a little taste of leather somewhere in there. But then life jumps in. We go to school, we get out of school, we start a career. Number of those years we're out partying, right? We're young, we can do that. I can't do that anymore. These late nights kill me. Anyway, so we get out, we get into life, and we get a career going, and we have kids. We start raising our kids. We probably buy a house. Well, sometime in about the mid 30s, things start to kind of settle out for us, right? Things are getting a little easier, careers moving. That's when we think back and thought, I really loved doing leathercraft. So a lot of us, we get a big influx maybe about the mid-30s of people jumping in, picking up the craft again, but also at retirement. A lot of folks remember back having a great time. Um, Time to find something to do, and leather. Could we come up with a better option than leather? No, I don't think so, because there's so much we can do. I mean, we've talked about all the things we can make out of leather. I would dare anybody to come up with half the things we can make out of leather, which we could make out of anything else, like other natural items, wood or stone or whatnot. There's just no comparison. So again, we kind of jump in the mid 30s and maybe somewhere around retirement. And what a great way to go with retirement. Very likely doing some little leather shows around, or craft shows or craft fairs might pay for the trip. And we love doing the leather, and we love seeing people come up, look at our leather, see our passion for it, buy one of our products and love it. Walk off loving it. Wow, what a great craft. What a great craft. And I just roll on that time and time again. But it was a good point. A lot of us remember back that, wow, I mean, maybe, in scouts, we just made a cool little wristband, maybe stamp some initials on it or something. Still, we remember that and love it and jump back into it. So great time, great craft. Uh, and at the show too, and I know I keep rolling on this, but it's not necessarily at the show, right? Just there's so many options. Our problem in leathercraft is not a lack of options. It's almost an overabundance of options. Just all the tools and the leathers and the dyes and antiques and all the spots and hardware and conchos. Again, not a lack of options. We just have so many possible options. Sometimes with me, it can be a little bit of a problem. Um, j- Designing a project. Well, I mean, our first step is, okay, we're going to use a leather. Which one are we, right? Are we going to go with a veg or a chrome? Or now veggies are starting to look like chromes. There's getting to be a real crossover there. Especially for us that love the veg, the colors and the textures and the prints, really getting some pretty leathers out there. Picking the leather, that's just the first stop. And then maybe, are we going to go with natural? Then how about our dyes? Are we going to antique? Are we going to paint, tool, stamp, die coat? That's not even going into the hardware options, all the conchos and buckles and spots. Yeah, I don't use spots on anything, right? Right. But it's just, there's so many possibilities. Sometimes it can actually be a problem trying to design a project, because I don't want my project to look like a yard sale, right? Every technique I know is on one project. Actually, that might look good. Yeah, right? If you pick the right project, that could really look good. But yeah, so anyway, all the way back to that, I got into it in college and worked some on it, and maybe even after college. I remember working on we had a dining room table in our little apartment. Me and the guy I lived with at the time, we both worked at Turner Broadcasting, and I worked some leather, kept going to the rent fairs, but somewhere in there, I kind of fell out of it for a little bit, then got back into it. And one of the funniest things I've noticed, um, is that when you get out of leather and you give it a couple of years or a little while, when you come back, nothing's changed. And in a world where everything changes almost daily, leather doesn't. There's Now price wise, the leather has gone up a little bit, but really that's more the shipping issue with this ridiculous, unnecessary inflation. Um, the shipping is kind of more of the problem than the actual tonnage itself. But other than that, the edgers, right? The bevels, the groovers, the dies, they kind of haven't changed. So it's easy to kind of work our way back in. But again, in a world where everything changed so fast, it's kinda nice to have that, right? It's kinda nice to have something that you remember, and it's the same way it was. So, leather's just, in my opinion, it's the best craft ever, ever, hands down, not biased, simply a fact. Um, so let's see where we are. I'm a little bit out of it today. Please excuse me. But we're gonna make it fun. I hope it's gonna be worthwhile. Hope there'll be some good information in here. Uh Oh, Taylor Miller. Let's see. I'm way back. I need to catch up. Yeah, there's Jill. Had a great time in Sheridan. Love y'all. I mean, really, it's not hard to love leather crafters. Um, let's see. Okay, Taylor. So the pilots now have trading cards. Oh, you just have to ask. Oh, I'm with you. Okay, all right. I managed to cultivate a nice collection. Very cool. Pilots always are friendly. They really are. Let's see. Let's see, Chuck, it used to be not that bad flying. I flew a lot when I was in the Navy. Gary, I bet. Thank you for serving in the Navy. Um, when I flew the first time back in the day, when I was 7, I got those pilot wings. I did too. There, who all got a pair of pilot wings? I was so proud of those. Oh man, yeah. Uh, let's see. I am no one. No flying for me. I'm scared of heights. I understand that. I absolutely do understand that. Um, I talked to a helicopter pilot. I wanted to be military. I wanted to fly military, but my math skills just, like my best friend once told me, I think we're all glad you don't fly. Oh, thanks. Right? Yeah, from your best friend. But anyway, the point I was talking to a gentleman that was a pilot, a helicopter pilot, rotary. Um, he said he never really had a problem with it until he had to he was contracted to put up like a spire on a very large building in Atlanta, and he said that made the connection for me. He said that made the connection. So I understand that. Absolutely understand that. Uh yeah, Billy rather try flapping my arms in a commercial aircraft these days. Yeah, that's right. Jim, who does the shows with us, he always gets dirt cheap prices, and I always ask him, are you actually in the airplane for that level of price? Um, but yeah, I gotta change because it was seamless, and it was actually a pleasure. Just friendly people everywhere. TSA, you just moved right through, and they were friendly. So, uh, oh, let's see, Billy Blaze. I like that double bit axe on the wall. Oh man, yeah, bought that from a customer that refurbed those, and I thought it was just too nice to use, so I had put that on the wall. And of course, the little Lizzie Borden. Right, gotta have a Lizzie Borden in your shop. Yeah. So let's see. All right, let me jump a little bit ahead here because I'm so far behind. Dane, 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 good to see your name pop up again. Good for your thank you for your comments too, Dean. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, so I guess I've been doing leather about 40 years, give or take, somewhere in there. Um, yeah, and I'm glad Jill's here. Let's see, okay, Jim Jenkins started in the early 80s. So Jim, yeah, kind of about that same time. And Carl Springer, 1990. Nice. Um, let's see. Oh, Omar. Omar, I just saw that. Just saw your name pop up. Let me see if I can get back to that. Uh, yeah, Omar, I'll find it. Sorry if I just hit the right. Yeah, if I don't hit the cursor right on the nose, it drops me all the way up to current. Omar, nonetheless, I'm glad you're with us. I will certainly find your comment. Uh, let's see. Oh, Billy Blaze, I'm making a leather tool bag, like a messenger bag to hang on the seat of my new tractor. Did you say new tractor? I am all questions. Billy, all questions on that one. Treasure Outdoors. Thanks for joining us. It's good to see your name pop up. Come on in, make yourself at home. Absolutely. Let's you appreciate your enthusiasm. Bless your heart. I will do my best to keep enthusiastic. It's a lot of coffee. It's a lot of coffee. Actually, I think all of my success can be based on coffee. Yeah, anyway, nonetheless, joking aside, appreciate your comment more than you know, and I'll do my best to keep doing that. Uh, Mike Young, time to make the donuts. Bye, y'all. Bye, Mike. And that's funny. I just have always said that. Time to make the donuts, right? Because anybody that's not familiar with that, I don't know how long ago, but I think it may have been Winchell Donuts. Um, if it is, wow, good ad campaign. But it was just this guy with a big mustache, and all I really remember was it's like the alarm clock goes off at 3. He sits up in bed. He looks terrible. His wife says, "What are you doing?" "Gotta make the donuts." And that's all. Got it when you get up in the morning, gotta make the donuts. That says it all, right? So that's thanks for dropping that in there. I've said that as long as I can remember. But anyway, Scott Robinson, let's see, finally made it in. Okay, go back and watch the first half later. You absolutely can do that. Join us if you're able to. I understand it's life. Yeah, we work for a living and kids and all that stuff. If you're not able to make it, fully understand, watch later. But for anybody that can jump in, bless your heart. Thanks for making this what it is. Absolutely. Shane Cessna, there's Shane's name popping up. Oh, and just speaking of, sorry I'm missing the live work has me handcuffed. Yeah, cuts in the middle of my day, right? Yeah, absolutely. Oh, Carrie, 844 days, no coffee or caffeine, almost close to 900 days. What's that? 2.5 years? Carrie, beautiful discipline. Absolutely. Bless your heart on that one. Uh, Oh, Billy Blaze, time to make the donuts was Duncan. Thanks for clearing that up for me. And do you remember that, Billy? Do you really remember that? Uh, okay, let's see. J2G Designs. Paul Wilson. Glad you're with us, Paul. It's good to see your name pop up. Um, Started in the Boy Scouts in the 70s. No kidding. Very cool. Same here. I remember doing so. I can't remember what, but I think it was in the Boy Scouts. Uh, Oh, let's see. Christian Hamburger. I've been doing leatherworking for 3 years now as a hobby. Kind of feel like an infant. Nah, absolutely not. You are well on your way. 3 years? Yeah, absolutely. I hope you're loving it though. And if you've been going 3 years, sounds like you are. That good. That would love to hear that. Uh, let's see. Omar Vibe. Please forgive me if I'm not pronouncing your name correctly. That's to me, that's the rudest thing you can do. Um, but nonetheless, glad you're here. Absolutely. Let's see. This is my first time joining your live stream. I really love your videos. Thanks a lot for all the amazing content. Bless your heart for saying that. It really does mean more than you know. It really does. Thank you. Thank you for taking the time to say that. And I hope you have fun today. I'm hoping we've got some good information, but I'm starting to get a little bit worried because I don't want to just go on and on about the show. Um, and I'm just not here. Anybody, am I even in focus? I don't feel like I'm in focus. And I'm not talking about the camera. Does anybody ever feel that way? It's just one of those days. Excuse another damn head cold. Really? Ah, worth it. Doesn't matter. Absolutely worth it. But I'm gonna do my best not to be gross on the live. Let's see. Piero So. Oh, good day from South Africa. Well, a good day right back to South Africa. Thanks for being here. I'm honored you would take the time. I hope it's worth your time, but it's good to see your name pop up. Absolutely. Um, yeah, Frederick Gregory. Okay, good. I remember these commercials. It's Duncan. Thank you. Man, people remember those. I'm surprised. It's a good series then, right? Good ad campaign. Uh, oh, all these, and they're coming by so fast. Y'all, sorry for not being able to get to every one of these. Oh, let's see. Casher 77. My dad got me going about 1968. Really? How nice is that? And okay, so I'm all questions here, but first off, are you still working the leather? And do you think of your dad from time to time when you work leather? I hope so. That would be good memories. The very good gift, very good memories. Uh, let's see, Thomas Beckett, good to see you. Oh, cold and rainy here for a change in sunny Saskatoon. No kidding. Um, Sheridan was warm and nice. It was very not love Sheridan and the Mill Inn. I know I keep rolling on this, but it was just all I did for the last 7 days. Um, the Mill Inn won't stay anywhere. It's an old flour mill. And I mean, everywhere you go, got old cowboy pictures. And the Mill Inn and the lobby, they've got a leather piece. I just wish I'd taken a picture of it. but it's rawhide, I think. It's a big mirror. It's a big piece, but it's got raised corners that are raised like that much with a basket weave and spots around it and slotted conchos with bleed knots on it. I don't know why I didn't take a picture of it. Anyway, the point is it showed the mill when it was built. It's like the mill, and there's no other building in sight. It's just high plains in every direction. Now it's just in the middle of strip malls and Arby's and McDonald's and Starbucks. But it's funny to see the town back then. And we had the award ceremony. So I taught classes in our category. And okay, let me before I say that, because I know a lot of y'all weren't there. But what we'll do is like last year, I'll get pictures. The folks at Leathercrafters will they put on the show. Oh, Cheryl and Ralph and Brian, they're just like every other leather crafter, just the kindest, sweetest people you've ever met. I'm going to give them time to get settled back in. Bless their heart. They do the six to midnight days, 5 days in a row too, right? So, anyway, I'll get some pictures of the winners, and even maybe not some of the winners, but a couple of the projects that just blew me away. Anyway, so me and Annie Libertini, we judged the untooled category, which is all the creative art. I mean, like anime figures this big that are you can see their shoelaces and their cloak is blowing in the wind, and it's a checkerboard cloak, black and green, just beyond what I'm able to do. I mean, how do you judge things that are beyond your skill level? I don't know. Anyway, 23 entries in Untooled alone. That was just our category. I think it took us about 5 hours to judge all of that. It should be unbelievable work. Anyway, the point is, for those of us that weren't there, I'll get pictures of these. We'll do a leather element on these so y'all can see some of this beautiful work. But and not just our category. We'll get a lot of these, and because the 13 I think it was there's categories like 8 to 13 years old and then 13 to 17. I can't remember exactly. Damn. These kids are doing work better than I could ever aspire to. Oh, man. Anyway, we'll do picks. That's the point. We'll talk about that. But a couple there that just left me stunned was, oh, and I got to mention this because a big shout out here to two folks. All right, so Jerry Prosser. Jeremy, he did a fireman's helmet. He's a firefighter, did a fireman's helmet, totally tooled. Unbelievable. I just about fell out. Wasn't in our category. Thank goodness. I didn't have to judge that. But anyway, Jeremy, thanks for the patch, man. Thanks for the patch. And another one that was in our category, and again, we'll get pictures of this, but some shout outs. Got to do a couple of shout outs. There was a bowl with roses, suede roses. And it's just not this bowl, blah, blah. This was started on a plug, circled around, and each band came up and did an S shape around and then was curled. I could not possibly have figured this pattern out, much less complete this. But to Haley, she gave me one of the suede roses. Haley, thanks so much. This is going to go on the set. But so anyway, a couple of shout outs there, and there's so many. And we'll see some pictures. We'll look at some pictures because, again, to know that a lot of this work is possible makes it feasible for us. For a lot of us that think, yeah, I'll never really be there. Yes, you will be. You can absolutely do this work. And a lot of it, even with the Stohlman book, for me, it's like, yeah, I might could pull that off. Maybe not. I might not reach there, but simply aspiring to that is every bit of it. It's just every bit of it. So we'll come back around to that. I know I'm trying to read my notes. Isn't that rude? Isn't that just rude? But anyway, and I'm trying not to talk a lot about the show, but for those of us that weren't there, I'll do my best to get something together so we can at least see, maybe experience a little bit of this. But going all the way back to that picture framed at the hotel lobby, I can't believe I didn't get a picture of that. but the folks there were at the mill and were so friendly. I might could get one of them to take a picture of it and send it to me because I couldn't believe the quality of that. The sheer size and depth of I think it was rawhide. Each corner was raised about that much around the mirror, came out square with a basket weave snap and then a bleed knot and a slotted concho, spots all the way around. Everything in that lobby had leather on it. All the chairs, all the old pictures. Man, I'm gonna I'll stop right there. It just being there blew me away. And we took we were going to Sheridan where it's still winter as far as we're concerned, because this is our winter clothing. Absolutely beautiful. Unbelievable. Oh, the pronghorn and the antelope and the longhorns and damn. Anyway, if you ever get a chance to make that or any of these shows, give it a shot because like I always say, we're kind of lone wolves. There's nobody really around us that speaks our language. But when you get together with with I don't know how many people were there. I have no idea what attendance was, but it was packed. And the award ceremony where when you judge, you go up on stage with the first, second, and third place winner, and they show pictures of their work. That was in Bill Cody's. I don't think he built the hotel, but it's still there. That's where Bill Cody stayed. Got the bar, the Old West bar. Cool place. Haunted. Yeah, Joe looked into that. It is haunted. So, but the point is that we were in a room with more than 100 leather crafters, and everybody is friendly and happy and talking, and just we're leather crafters. It's just in our DNA. I think it's that we breathe a lot of contact cement fumes. That's just my opinion. Just my opinion. But the point is, being around leather crafters, if you can get to one of these shows, it's so cool to be able to talk to people that speak our language. It's not common for us. So, anyway, oh, and Jill's talking about Don Gonzalez, his lovely family, absolutely, and his saddle. Wow, Jill wants one, but again, yeah, probably not in the cards. But anyways, if you ever get to see or talk to Don, he's just one of the greatest people and everybody there. Okay, so Dean, I need to get back over here. Let's see, Harry Curtis, Solstice. Oh man, Harry, I'm sorry we're not doing a giveaway this week, and that's my fault. I just didn't pull it together enough. Um, but next time we'll do a good giveaway. But Dean, let's see, I watch. Oh, Aaron Heiser. Oh, they're the it just goes without saying. Everybody's friendly. Let's see. It was neat to see, Dean. You're exactly right. Neat to see. Let's see. Oh yeah, sure is all about horses, which Jill loved that part of it. Uh, like Billy, I like my horses on two wheels. Yeah, man. Um, and Thomas Beckett, yeah, Billy Blaze, better with leather always. Got to say it, absolutely. Um, oh y'all, everybody's name. Let's see. Let me back up a little bit. Uh, let's see. Okay, Barrow de Mirac. Please forgive me if I'm not pronouncing your name, but I'm glad you're here. Nonetheless, thank you for posting a comment. Let's see. When I left college, the pandemics began and I was unemployed. So I started selling my leathercraft. Really? I made a lot of W2 replicas. Oh, you're kidding, for my friends. Sent stuff all over the country. How cool is that? What a great craft, right? Sounds like not only you're loving it, but having a good time with it, making a little money as well. And I almost forgot to mention that. We really had a lot of folks fall into leathercraft during the pandemic. We were all locked in our house, nobody going out. That was a good time to start with leathercraft. And I hope that most of those people that started are still working it, found some great joy in that and are still going. So I'm hoping so. I hope so. Um, and again, too, I always like to say, uh, drop in answers or to questions or comments or answers because you never know who these are going to help out, and you may just, and I always say this too, a lot of these answers, it might just be that one little thing that someone newer or younger at the craft, they're having trouble with it, they're getting frustrated. and they might turn away from leathercraft. That literally to me is the worst thing that could happen. So a simple little answer or comment or trick or technique, you might could literally change somebody's life through this. And I that may sound dramatic and all, but in all honesty, the worst thing that could happen is somebody gets frustrated and they walk away and don't come back. To me, that's the worst possible thing that can happen. So y'all put in your great comments and questions and answers. Absolutely. If you're new, don't feel bad about putting in a very basic question. You're going to get some good answers and just some good responses. You absolutely will. We just love bringing new people in. There's a lot of crafts out there that people are really don't tell anybody, what I do. They're very secretive about. Man, not for leather crafters. We just, what do you want? What do you want to know? How can I help you out? So let's see. Oh, you're kidding. Valerie Rutt. Let's see. My ex taught me leather work in the early 80s. I did an 8x10 tooling of Jesus holding a lamb. I gave it to my grandmother. Oh, I bet she was just thrilled with that. Valerie, thank you for putting that up. That's absolutely beautiful. Uh, let's see. Okay, Justin, where my fellow Rennies at? Yeah, one right here, man. Let's see. Uh, let's see. PARF. Uh, home fair here. Pennsylvania? Is that I'm Pennsylvania, I think. Oh, NJRF. Yeah, right. Got that one figured out. I'm really Philly. Oh man, Sterling. Y'all, we haven't been to the fair yet. Fair's been going on in Atlanta for a month and a half, but I've been in Ohio and Sheridan, so I have not yet had a single day to go to the Ren Fair. I'm jonesing, man. I need an opportunity to throw the armor on and go stand in the hot sun, 95 degrees. Oh, yay. Not not really, I don't care. We were at Scarborough one year. Beautiful fair. It's one of my favorites, and I swear I thought I was just gonna burst into flames at any time. Man, that was hot. You could feel your hair was hot, and they had, like, one of these mist tents, right, to where you could go I was in armor. Man, I stayed as far away from because I would rust before the time I got back to my car. But what a beautiful fair. I have yet to go to a fair I didn't absolutely love. But I will tell you this, if you ever get to the Texas Ren Fair, yeah, it's so big. That's one of the grandfathers, Minnesota and TRF. Um, I went to the TRF fair when I was in high school, and it was a pretty good sized fair at that point, and it's just exploded. Don't hold me to this, but I think the last time I looked at an attendance, it was like 600,000 or more people go to that show. I think it's 8 weekends, but it's like walking through a medieval village because they've been there so long. Like some of the booths are like marble facades. I mean, they're just beautiful. Oh, and the best one of the great things about TRF is a lot of the hotels along I-45 because it's a bit west of I-45. Um, they have shuttles, which so means you can drink, right? Because I that's one of the downsides to rent beer. I might drink a beer or two, but somewhere around 1 o'clock, I got to quit drinking because I got to drive home. Not that I drink a lot, but boy, a good beer and a suit of armor. Yeah, that's a lot of fun. That's a lot of fun. Anyway, so Rennies, y'all jump in. I'm working on my next video. Um, it's for us, period, folks, and it's one of my all-time favorites and we're going a little different direction than we typically would think, but it looks so period. Oh, it looks so period. You need two and not one. One is standard. Everybody's got one, blah, blah. Yeah, the second one, nail it. Absolutely nailing it. So that's coming up. I'm going to start on that. I may take tomorrow and Friday off because I'm just exhausted from this last trip. In a cold, so I may take 2 days off, but that's gonna give me time to kinda think. No, I don't need to think about it. I already got the design ready to go. I already got the hardware in from the mothership. I think these are gonna look good. I hope so. Anyway, so got some period projects coming up, absolutely, because that's my love. That's my love. That's where I got started. So, uh let's see, Eaglesman, Finland. Chuck, have you got a head knife tutorial, including sharpening and surfaces that are good to use. Recently had some good advice, but I like the way you explain things. Thank you for saying that more than you know. Absolutely. I am not a pro at the head knife, um, or the round knife. It's not one of my strengths, so we'll figure that out. In fact, let me write that down. Um, I really I really need to be more up to speed on that if I'm gonna do a video. I haven't used a head knife very often. I started with what was just in my toolbox, and I remember this back in college, we had this little dinky house. It was like the size of a boxcar. I could reach the phone in the kitchen from my bed in the bedroom, right? That give you an idea. But I remember to this day working on still have the table, working on that table, and I started with what I could find because I'd been going to the Ren Fair. So I started with what I had in this little toolbox, which was a box knife, probably a cheap little wooden ruler. Remember the little wood rulers with that little metal edge? Oh, and pop ribbons. Oh, those are awful. But that's where I started. Um, so I've always used the box knife. That the old school guys, they look at that and go, really? But I can cut a perfect star in 23 seconds with this. So I've just used it so long. I'm comfortable with it. Retractable blade. I can tuck it. But that's where I'm going with that is I'm not as good with a head knife or a round knife as I should be. So I'm not comfortable doing a video on one, but I've got that on my notes here. We're going to talk about that. Absolutely. Amongst us at Weaver, we're going to find somebody that's really good with a head knife and we'll get them to do a video for us. So we'll come up to speed there. Um, but Englishman, Finland, thank you for bringing that up. Absolutely. We'll work hard on getting you covered on that. Absolutely. Um, or maybe I can just come up to speed on that. And yeah, it's boy, I tell you, the folks that say when they go with the head knife or the round knife, um, you never go back because it's three tools. You have a knife, an edger, and a skiver. I've done a little edging with one. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't great. I'm better with the edgers, the master tool edgers, a little more consistent with those. But let's see what we can do on that. I'll do my best to try to come up to speed. Since thank you, you like the way I explain things. I'll see if I can help there. I'll see what I can do to help. Uh, let's see. Ken Kringle. I was the DC manager for the other company that I used to work for, right? Yeah. Um, back in the late 90s into the early 2000s, then got out of leather when I moved back to Georgia. Ken, I hate to hear that, but you're here with us. Is that a sign that you're maybe working your way back in? Um, that would be nice because it can be a job. It can, it's my job all day long. And then I work over in my weaver shop during the day. Then I come over to my shop in the evenings and work over here. So it can be a job, absolutely. But Ken, I hope you're working your way back into it. And seeing your name here, I'm gonna keep my fingers crossed on that. Um, yeah, TJ Dennis. I saw that Don Gonzalez won second place for his saddle 2 years in a row now. Hats off to him. You're absolutely right. I think he was number one. And then Paul got number three, but I think he was. I would have voted for number one because of the tooling. Now, I didn't see the number one saddle. We'll get a picture of it. We'll do a leather element. Like I said, we'll get a picture of it. So I didn't see that one, but I just can't understand how Don wasn't first place. Man, I don't know saddles that well. But man, that was a beautiful saddle. They all were just n- knocked down, stunning. And the chaps, and the holsters, the boots. There's, I don't remember, but I think there's 14 categories: clothing, boots, saddle, holster, artwork, tooled, untooled, standalone. Anyway, I'll go into more detail when we get a video together. Uh, Ken, when I became Santa Claus, This warms my heart, man. Pulled out my old tools to make my Santa belt and haven't stopped. All right. Good. Very cool. That's things like that make my day. Glad to hear that. Uh, let's see. Let me get back up here a little more. Uh, okay. Thomas Beckett. Glad to see your name there. Got some conversation. I'm not going to put my foot in that one. Uh, oh, let's see. Susan M. Let's see. Watch Chuck when first got into leather crafting. He was using box cutter and have used it ever since. I hate that people are picking up bad habits from me. We really should be using a round knife or a head knife because it's such an iconic leathercraft tool. Susan, I'm just there's in my defense, it's just so comfortable in my hand. I'm not good at sharpening blades. I can, but I'm not confident on it. I can pop a blade out and back in no time, and they're super sharp. Um, the best part for me though is retractable blade. Um, I'm bad about just reaching, and I picked up a blade or two. Yeah, you learn your lesson. Well, evidently, maybe not. Right? Anyway, it just to me, it's just what I've always used, and because of that, I'm good, fast, clean, quick with it. But I mean, right? Head knives, round knives, iconic leathercraft tools. Oh, and this is something else I want to bring up. Um, and back to the show, but it's a good point. Um, I mentioned things haven't changed much in leathercraft. When we fall out of it, we jump back in, which is nice. But at the Key Museum, they had like 4 or maybe 5 of these big boards, um, framed boards that have like one of them is draw gauges. They've got like maybe 25 draw gauges. And below each one, it gives you the date, like so and so 1893 or 1868. It's the same tool we're using today. Exactly the same draw gauge we're using today. The next one over was punches, English punch, round end, and oblongs. Same punches we're using today. Absolutely. So, kind of most of the tools haven't changed 150 or more years, right? Um, there's been some additions, right? A couple of additions, but for the most part, it's the same thing we've been using for a long time. And most of these tools, like in our class, I did hand sewing. Um, love the hand sewing. I can talk 3 hours on hand sewing, hands down, period. But it's a basic. Uh, but for a number of the people that in the class, they'd never used a groover. The point here, not a tough tool to learn. Put it on the leather, put the guide against the leather, pull it up, little clock counterclock goes, and you make a beautiful groove every time. So many of these tools they're so easy to learn. There's nothing tricky about most any of the tools that we use, but it's good to see that they didn't change much or very little. Absolutely. But it's cool to think back. And I'm not thinking late 1800s. What about 2,000 years ago or 3,000 years ago? There's somebody working in their shop doing the same damn thing we are. Absolutely making the same thing we are. We literally could connect with somebody that lived 3,000 years ago. That blows me away. It's a deep thought, but also too with leather. And I brought this up. I think we're the oldest craft, and I've said this before. Our leather worker, our woodworking cousins, we'll call them wood chippers because they call us cow jockeys. So we're cool, right? We're cool because we're so similar. Now, oldest craft, they have a legitimate argument, but I think we're the older craft because we were cold, right? Yeah, nice big deer skin right there is going to make a good coat. But one very serious point to this is leather allowed us to walk further, walk faster, and to carry more. Well, we now have padding on our feet so we can carry more, but I almost feel like that's more aimed at, well, now we don't have to carry everything in our hands. We've got pouches, right? So now we can walk further, faster, and carry more with us. How about that? And then we can work into the colder climates because now we have clothing. We have big, thick clothing that will keep us warm. So all kinds of cool aspects and little side notes to in the history of leather, I just don't know any of it. There's so much to know about leather. I just I'm really not confident that I know a lot about leather. But anyway, I know enough to make some cool stuff, and that's all that matters, right? That's all that matters. Let's have fun with it. Absolutely, let's have fun with it. Holy crap, it's 4 o'clock. How did it get to be 4 o'clock so fast? I thought it was like 3:20, and I'm just okay. Let's do this because notes from the boss. We got to do this. I'm sorry, I feel like I'm eating into y'all's time now, but a couple of good points. All right, today is the last day to save on Shaheen Natural Strap, 15% off. The Shaheen and the Herman Oak got to eat with the Herman Oak guys. Out, they took us to dinner. Greatest folks. They're leather people too. Just happy and but we laughed and talked through the whole meal. Didn't want it to end. But anyway, on the Shaheen side, love the Shaheen, love the Herman Oak, but the Shaheen, 15% off. Now's the time to grab that. Absolutely. All right, sign up for our newsletter to be in the know for all upcoming classes, new products, and sales. And there's one more. Um, Let me back up a little bit. Sorry. Let's see. Okay, we've got a video coming out Friday that we shot while I was up at the mothership a couple of weeks ago. We're touring the facilities. And the boss, she emailed me and said, hey, you want to tease this video coming out Friday, day after tomorrow. And she said, I love it. Okay. That's all I need to know. So it sounds like a great video. Thanks to Joe and Paul for putting this together. Um, I hope it's a good video. If you can't make it to the mothership, maybe this will give you a little bit of a view of what goes on there and what happens there, and some of the people there. Oh, it's a great experience to be there. So okay, we're gonna wrap it up for today. I think I've got everything. I promise next time I'll be a little bit more on it, and I promise we'll do a great giveaway. We'll pick something fun to give away. Um, but also, oh, let me mention one more thing. I got to mention this because we did the video on the luggage tags, luggage tags. I wouldn't say bag tags. It's a different thing. Wow, you can see your suitcase in a pile of 100 suitcases with these. So very helpful. All right, so we're gonna wrap it up, y'all. Thank you for making this what it is. I just can't say that enough. I absolutely believe that. We'll get back together in 2 weeks. We'll do a great giveaway. I'll be a little more in focus. How about that? Right? So, but I do hope it was worth your time. Everybody new that joined us, bless you for being here. You make this what it is. Every one of you love being a leather crafter, and I love being with leather crafters. Best craft ever. Love y'all more than you know. And we'll see you in 2 weeks. So, bye, y'all.